The White House is defending President Trump's decision to fire the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics following a weaker than expected jobs report last week. The director of the National Economic Council, Kevin Hassett, addressed the president's firing this morning.
You know, as an economist, I like to go for what I can prove, and what I can prove is that the data have become very unreliable.
Friday jobs report showed that employers added 73,000 new jobs in July. That is short of the 115,000 economists had forecasted. The unemployment rate, that also ticked up to 4.2%, and monthly totals for May and June, they were also revised down by a combined 258,000 jobs. CBS News White House reporter Olivia Rinaldi joins us now. And Olivia, the White House says the president fired the commissioner, Erica McIntyre, for allegedly manipulating this jobs report number. He says for political reasons. Has the White House given any evidence of that?
Well, Nancy, no, they haven't. They're pointing to past revisions and saying that this is such a large revision, one of the largest we've seen in non-recessionary times since the 1960s, that's a reason that this could be seen as political. But Nancy, there's revisions in the jobs report all the time. It happens so frequently, and I'm sure Kelly O'Grady can speak to this a little bit better later on. But it happens because of the way the data is collected, the delays, and somehow in some of the ways that this data is collected, it's no longer, done by phone as reliably. The response rate has gone down a lot. So the White House says because of these revisions, that's essentially why this data was manipulated and why Ms. McIntyre was fired. But I should note that William Beach, who was the former Bureau of Labor Statistics commissioner under the first Trump administration, said that the commissioner doesn't do anything to obtain the numbers. They see the numbers on Wednesday before they get reported. They don't have nothing to do as far as it goes with collecting the numbers. So former colleagues of Ms. McIntyre coming to her defense, saying there's nothing she would have been able to do to manipulate the data. The revisions are something that are normal. We're seeing greater swings in the revisions because of response rates from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and businesses to them about the hiring statistics in the United States. And that's a trend that we've seen since the pandemic. So the White House really defending this decision today, saying that they had the right to do so.
Olivia, what do we know about the timeline for who will take the former commissioner's job, and what kind of impact does that have for next month's jobs report?
Well, it's a lengthy process. The president appoints who would be the commissioner. They then have to go to the Senate, go through committee, be confirmed there, and then get confirmed through the larger Senate as well. We should note that Ms. McIntyre was confirmed through the Senate in a bipartisan vote, 86-8. Vice President Vance and Senator Rubio, or Secretary Rubio, both senators at the time, voted to confirm her. So this is a process. It's going to take time. Even if the White House announces her this week, the Senate is out of session. So there's not going to be a commissioner for quite a while in this position.
Olivia Rinaldi, thanks so much for your insight. We appreciate it. And CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady joins us now. Kelly, always a treat to be able to see you. You know, when we talk about the Bureau of Labor Statistics, a lot of Americans don't even know what that does. So why is the commissioner such an important position here?
Well, first of all, I have a lot to live up to after Olivia Rinaldi gave me such high praise. I will try and do you justice, Olivia. This is an important position because of the credibility. This economic data is used by financial institutions, markets, business leaders, people like you and me, as we're trying to explain how the U.S. economy is doing. And of course, the U.S. economy is so important to the global economy. So having someone at the helm of an organization that puts out data that is so widely used is very important. Now, as Olivia said, she is not, or whoever replaces, is not the person that is in the weeds deciding, okay, this number goes here and this number goes there. So from a go-forward perspective, there is a team of people that do these reports. And by the way, it's not just the jobs report. The BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, is responsible for inflation and a number of other reports. So credible as a figurehead, very important. But in practice, there's a whole team of people that make these reports go out.
And the work continues on that end. Kelly, meanwhile, talking tariffs here, the European Union, the EU, announced it will suspend its planned countermeasures to President Trump's tariffs. The president is saying that the EU will be making billions of dollars in investments into the U.S. as part of these new deals. What do we know about those investments?
Yeah, sort of a pay for a lower tariff rate, if you will. And we've seen that reflected in a number of these trade deals. So what we do know is the EU cannot legally require any country that is a part of its 27-nation bloc to actually make an investment. And they can't require specific private companies to do so. So what we do know, though, I talked to a number of analysts about this today, is there are likely industries that you would see make investments in the U.S. And so one might be the car industry. Companies like Mercedes already have factories in the U.S. They might invest more. Maybe pharmaceutical companies, we do know potentially they will be subject to a sector tariff. So you might see some there.
You know, all this as we are now just days away from more than 60 countries facing new tariffs. President Trump also announcing that he will substantially raise tariffs on India. Where is the White House on reaching deals with those countries?
So if you watched Face the Nation this Sunday, you heard Trade Ambassador Jamieson Greer said, hey, my phone might be blowing up, but this is kind of where trade is, where these deals and tariff rates are going to stay. The one thing that I will note, India as well as China trade a lot with Russia. So that's where my spidey senses go up. Is this extra penalty for trading with Russia going to impact negotiations with China, which of course we know are ongoing?
More to come on all this. Kelly O'Grady, thanks so much. We appreciate it.